Welcome to Conversations. My name is Suresh Kochatar. Before we get on to today's topic, I would request you to subscribe, like, and of course, share this channel with your friends. Today we're going to talk about the legacy of Manmohan Singh. The former Prime Minister passed away last evening in Delhi hospital after being unwell for quite some time. Television channels were quick off the mark with special programs lauding the former Prime Minister as somebody who brought in economic reforms into the country. And of course, newspapers this morning were full pages about his virtues, his history, about what he did and what he did not. Of course, we all know that Manmohan Singh is the face or was the face of economic reforms in this country. At one time, we all knew where India was standing, at the abyss. And he ushered what was said to be the liberalization regime after what we saw for almost 5 to 6 decades of license Raj under Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi and subsequent Prime Ministers including Rajiv Gandhi. Actually, it was after Rajiv Gandhi's time that the liberalization came into force, especially way back in 1991 when India was staring at an economic abyss. Manmohan Singh was born on September 26, 1932 in what is now Punjab in Pakistan. He studied economics at Cambridge and did his doctorate at Oxford. Now with that kind of lineage, naturally he was set for big things in life. And he did. In 1971, he joined the Government of India as an economic advisor in the Commerce Ministry. Then was the Reserve Bank Governor from 1982 to 85. And the Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission from 1985 to 87. He was appointed as the Finance Minister in 1991 as India grappled with a severe economic crisis. And of course, we all knew that he was considered one of the architects of India's liberalization during his stint as a Finance Minister till 1996. Later, he took office as the Prime Minister on May 22, 2004. Manmohan Singh as Finance Minister did transform the policies and fortunes, but the actual credit should go to Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, who asked for and then backed Manmohan Singh to the hilt. And of course, we knew that today India is a big boy of the world's economy, soon to be the third largest one. But a lot of credit should go to this team of P.V. Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh. Manmohan Singh could not have done this all alone, as is being extolled by television channels and of course newspapers and media and even the Congress. True, he was a part of it, but we all know that a finance minister cannot do things in isolation. Somebody has to back him and back him to the hilt. And as we see now, when Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presents a budget, it is not her budget. It's a budget of the cabinet headed by the Prime Minister. And P.V. Narasimha Rao was a man who was willing to take risks. Everyone knows the way he was treated after his death because the dynasty did not like him. But Singh was a favorite. In 2004, he was again brought back from the blue as a Prime Minister. And this time he was regarded and also mocked it as a dummy Prime Minister. Sanjay Barua has written extensively in his book, The Accidental Prime Minister, about how Prime Minister Manmohan Singh as a Prime Minister in 2004 onwards allowed Sonia Gandhi to dictate terms to him. His first 5 years will be remembered more favorably than the next 5. Most of the important files that were put up to Manmohan Singh were said to have been carried away by people like Pulok Chatterjee to 10 Janpath. And only after the approval of you-know-who could Manmohan Singh on these files. That is a tragedy. Why did Manmohan Singh have to do this? Could he have been more tough with the dynasty and tell them to get off the high horse? Narasimha Rao did that, but then he paid a price for it. The Congress High Command, the so-called High Command, did not even allow his funeral to happen in Delhi, as Manmohan's funeral is happening on Saturday. But his body, P.V. Narasimha Rao's body, was not even taken to the AICC headquarters. It was straight away sent to Hyderabad. And we all know who was behind that. Manmohan Singh also faced the same situation. Poor man, he could not do anything. He was just powerless. One, he was heading a coalition government. and every pull and pressure from the allies was going on. He allowed all kind of scams to happen, from the Commonwealth scam to the 2G scam to the coal scam, you name it, because all the allies were having a ball. And Prime Minister Manmohan Singh just could not do anything. He could not control his ministers. That is why I said his first 5 years were better, but his last 5 years as a Prime Minister was a disaster. Manmohan Singh ministers behaved as if they didn't have a boss, and that is why it is. And then you have the likes of Rahul Gandhi tearing up a bill okayed by the cabinet headed by Prime Minister Singh that opened a back door for convicted netas to come back into electoral politics. And where did he do this? In a press conference. Mind you, this is how Manmohan Singh was pushed to the corner. I guess if he had quit at that point in time, he would have earned a lot more respect. The day Rahul Gandhi tore up that bill, he should have just put in his papers and walked away. But he did not do it, for various obvious reasons. In fact, Narasimha Rao picked him up after IG Patel has turned down Narasimha Rao's offer to be the finance minister in his cabinet, to save the economy by changing India's economic DNA. Manmohan Singh, with equal felicity, became the Sardar of reforms, as he was called. The question all will ask when you look at his legacy, was he a tough PM or did he allow others to run the government? It all depends whom you ask. There are different opinions. Because if you ask me, he could have been a tougher Prime Minister. But then people will tell you that he was that kind of a person who was not tough. He was very soft and jovial. He allowed journalists on his planes, free rides, 5-star hotels on tours abroad. The journalists like Rajdeep Sardesai, Barkha Dutt and others had a ball. I mean, this is a Prime Minister who could have written a legacy differently. But then he was too weak for it. He was being dictated. He was being pushed around. And I feel bad for him. Today, we all sing hosannas about him. Newspapers, television channels, everybody talk about him. But you ask him when he was alive how he was treated, especially when he was a Prime Minister for those 10 years. I guess he wouldn't have slept easy even for a night. There were so many things that were happening around. National politics, international politics, sanctions regime, you name it. There was everything. Of course, he did come through it in fine colors. Good ones. He made some certain good decisions. But then equally disastrous decisions. That is what Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was all about. A man who compromised, if you ask me. And as I said before, he could have been different. But he did not. The question is why? Because one, he was a compromise candidate. He was an accidental Prime Minister. An accidental Prime Minister always end up as accidents. And that is what happened with Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. As a finance minister, he was great because he had a Prime Minister like Narasimha Rao who backed him no matter what. That's what Prime Ministers are supposed to do. Back their finance minister, back their ministers when they take decisions and say, this is a cabinet decision. He should not have allowed the files to move out of his office to somebody who had not even taken the oath of office in secrecy sitting in 10 Janpath. He should not have allowed them to dictate. He should not have allowed people like Ahmed Patel to tell him what to do. But then he was not a politician. He was a bureaucrat. He was an economist. And to run a country like India, you need to be a kind of a master of all. You need to be a bit of a dictator. And that's what we need. And that's what we didn't have till 2004. Today, if you ask anybody in Delhi corridors of power, if there was a scam that happened, they would say no. Because Prime Minister Modi is not the one who can be pushed around. Forget pushing him around. You can't even nod him. You can't even push him. You can't even touch him. That's a kind of aura that he has. That's a kind of command he has. Manmohan Singh should have done that. But then, as they say, hindsight is an advanced science. You always look back and say things could have been done differently. Problem was that he didn't have a political power. He had to come through the Rajya Sabha route to become a Prime Minister. That too from Assam. That is a tragedy. He was not elected from the Lok Sabha. Of course, that's not a big thing, but then it really shows a message across. That here's a man who didn't even have 5 MPs with him. And his job was on the line anytime he rebelled. And that is why he compromised. That is Manmohan Singh for you. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.